What's up everybody, Randy here at eTrailer. Today we're taking a look at the Gustafson RV Scare Light. Now basically this is just a porch light or a utility light you can use to illuminate a workspace or where you want to sit around your camper or RV. It's going to have a nice large oval design. It has a very good reflector in it and it helps to promote that light coming out. It's an incandescent light, that's why you have that more natural or that more yellow light. It has a black base on it. The base is going to be 12 inches by 5 inches, and it's going to stick off the side of your RV by about 2 or 2¼ inches. It installs really easily. It uses a 2-wire system. You'll see it when we do that here in a minute. And I like the design of it. I like the size. I don't particularly like that it's incandescent. On trailers, we often see a lot of bumping, a lot of bouncing. It gets hot and it gets cold. And the filament in those incandescents don't seem to last a long time. If I were choosing one, I would go with an LED. You get cleaner light, you get brighter light, doesn't draw as much power, and you're not going to be changing the bulbs. But if you're trying to match a light that you already have, or you're trying to stay consistent with what your RV or what your trailer came with, I think it's an excellent replacement option. Here's a better look at that base. It's kind of hard to see when we got the light on, so we turned it off. But as you can see, nice, clean, sleek look. It is a surface mount, but it has a slight tilt downward. That's going to promote lighting there at the steps of your RV and then out a little bit from it, so you can see around the area and go about your business. Something I like about this light in particular is the bulb that it uses. It's an 1156. That's going to be a very common bulb. It's found in a lot of vehicles, and they use it as a tail light bulb. So you won't have any trouble finding this if you do need to replace it. Now as far as the installation goes, it's really straightforward. It's a 2-wire design, so our white wire we need to ground, our black wire we need to provide 12-volt power to it. You can see our attachment points there on the back. So we're going to hook these up first. We'll pop that lens off and get it installed. We're going to be using some heat shrink butt connectors here. Part number is DW05744-5. We'll slide those in on a stripped end. Crimp them down really well. You always got to pull on it, make sure it's got a good bite. To help ensure you get a good bite, you twist those wires up really tight. That way when it grabs a hold of it, it's grabbing onto something a little more solid. All right, then on the trailer side, black is our 12-volt power, so that's what we're going to use. Some trailers that's different, so you just want to test to make sure. Crimped on. Do the same for our white wire, and we'll be ready to attach it to the trailer. We are going to shrink these down before we do that. And to do that, we'll use a heat gun, use a mini torch. Just want to use a heat source, but not overheat them. When using heat shrinks, that's what we're looking for. We want them to shrink down. You see a little clear gel that comes out of the end there. That's going to make sure no moisture can get in there and cause corrosion issues. Just tuck these back in. And if we look at the top of the light right in the middle, we want to squeeze the lens and pull out slightly. And then we'll lift straight up. That's going to get that out of the way for us, so we can see our 4 attachment points right there. Now before we get this attached to the trailer, I want to take a couple measurements on the attachment points here to give you an idea of just how far apart they are. Looks like it's going to be 1 3/8 of an inch between these. And it's going to be 4 1/4 inches from center to center on these. That'll give you a good idea of whether it's going to match with your attachment point, so you have the room you need to attach it. Get that positioned where we want it. We'll get one screw started, then we'll level it out. So we'll start the two bottom ones first. Get those popped in, and then just pinch down slightly on the top. That's really all there is to it. Now we can just flip our switch, test it out, make sure it works properly. It's looking good. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up the look at the light. We've seen how to install it. We've seen how bright it is. And overall, again, I think it's a good replacement. If I were adding a light, I'd lean towards the LED, so just keep that in mind.